we doing today, folks? Welcome to Just Conversations, updating with the latest news. This Tuesday, a very important vote going down to stop the crazy state votes where they're trying to stop people from voting. They're putting in federal laws to stop all these new laws that's coming out for states. So pay attention. Let's see if the Democrats can bring it home for Jerome this week. In other news, the PPP fraud is going down, fellas. Mr. Brown was just caught for $1 million this week in Philadelphia. And brother, I feel you, Holmes. So, get all your commissary, keep the story the same, and don't just get that convenient amnesia, because brother, it sounds rough for you. And the fact you went back for another $1 million after the first $1 million, you are an American hero.
Last Friday was the first celebration of the Juneteenth holiday in America. Shout out to Kente Pelosi. What about reparations? We'll get back to that though. In sports news, Kemba Walker on his day off was traded from the Celtics to the Oklahoma Thunder for Al Horford. You guessed it, big money. And a whole bunch of draft picks like they always do. Shout out to Al Horford keeping the job. And I was today years old when I found out that Dirk Nowitzki has a black wife. Getting freaky in a dashiki. They like that. Dipping in the chocolate. And he got a chip. Chocolate chip. In financial news, the Federal Reserve has raised the interest rates on the 15 and 30-year mortgages. So for the overextended, maybe time to clamp down. No more this. No more Nordstrom.
Not even the rack.
Neiman's, no Marcus.
Good morning. This is Gucci with the weather. It's gonna be a high of 90 with a low of 72 with a wind chill of 13. And I think there's gonna be some scattered showers too. So motherfuckers, bring out that rain. Oh shit, yeah, bring out that raincoat just in case in them extra trash bags you bitches use, the shopping bags. Just in case to wrap that doobie up. Since I got all this money around me. I am coming out with a calendar for all you niggas going to prison for fucking with that PUA. I see you, player. You see me too.
Also, this week, found out that Big Meech has a reduction in his sentence. He lost 3 years off his sentence. So some people are celebrating like he's coming home, but it's still going to be 2028. Well, other than that, this is Sharif signing out with news briefs for Just Conversations.
How long is she coming?
He said a couple minutes. How long do you think? They be all in place? So we all in full 5 minutes?
Oh no.
That's a real. I ain't right. You say that's a real 5, but it's like a 15 though.
I was supposed to do them.
All right, that's a real 5.
Yeah.
How we doing today, folks? Welcome to our 19th episode of Just Conversations, no interviews. Remember to like,
subscribe,
and share.
And just like that, folks, thank you so much for tuning in with us today.
We greatly appreciate it.
Yes. As always, we don't really do interviews, but we do have some special guests today. We have the Ford family. This family are very well known in the printing business. They are my heroes. Actually, the husband of the two actually is the one that kind of taught me about printing when I was probably about 18 years old. He told me about the printing game. First time I've ever seen a shirt getting printed was this guy right here. So we're gonna take you on a journey where we talk about business and other things that we all have went through in the city of trying to be a productive entrepreneur.
We're honored to have you today,
Well, thank you for having us. We love to be here.
So this is Kia Ford. Is that good enough for you?
Yep, that's
Kia
perfect.
Ford. And this is Dwayne Ford.
Waiting for it.
Their company is called Always Apparel. Look them up, Facebook, Instagram. They're there, Always Apparel. We'll put it up on the screen. You'll see it when you watch the show.
So make sure you support Black businesses. You know, something that we definitely have to do more of, and we're gonna definitely make sure that we highlight as many businesses as possible so that we can be on one accord and work collectively.
You would think she was here all day.
Don't blow up like that.
Anyway,
It's all good.
anyway, so how long y'all been in business, boo? Let's talk about this, cuz.
Let's talk about it. Legal business or street
Oh.
business? No. I'm just talking about I mean, I guess
First time you had a printing machine.
That's
first time
what
you
I'm
had a
talking
printing
about.
machine. What year was the first time? You
Yeah,
had a
so
printing
I think we got the first silkscreen in 1997.
I wasn't around.
To be honest, yeah, 1997. We actually bought the silkscreen machine because we were actually doing music.
Okay.
So we actually bought the silkscreen machine to actually print shirts to do
To push
promotion,
business, okay.
to promote our music and stuff.
But that's where everything happens the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's just like in the beginning, we really didn't even like print for anybody, you know what I mean?
So it wasn't for money.
It was just for, basically for promotion.
free merch. Yeah, it was for free merch.
We wasn't trying to sell it.
Okay.
We were just trying to print shirts to promote our name, and you know what I mean? That's how that actually even came about.
What was y'all music name?
We was the Moroccos as a whole. My rap group was called Double Impact, and then we had Rated Raw, we had G Massacre, we had Sounds of Rage, and so we had all of those people, you know what I mean, and the neighborhood was so strong, you know what I mean, with support for everything that we were doing, music wise,
And what
clothing
neighborhood
wise.
was this?
20 from Brown, 19 from Popular.
Okay.
It's called the Moroccos. It's a whole story about that. I don't want to go
we
off
ain't
track.
gonna- yeah, we
I don't want to go
ain't
off track.
That's a
So
whole nother
yeah,
story.
that's
We
how.
ain't old enough to tell.
Yeah. So we were just really just trying to do our thing. Just as entrepreneurs, just in general, like
And how old were you at that time?
my cousin. At that time, with the silkscreen?
Yeah.
Oh, when we were rapping. I mean, we
The
started.
silkscreen.
Yeah. So 97. I don't know, 18. I
About
guess.
18.
Yeah, 18.
About 18. You got
Yeah.
it by a year, so yeah.
Yeah, about 18, yeah. Well, quick side note, in 1996, we opened up for Jay-Z in West Virginia. Yeah.
So since you guys are about in your seem like I would say about mid, with the
I'm 42.
before attached.
I'm 42.
I'm 20 years younger, so that's like before my time.
Yeah, I'm 42 years old. Yeah.
But so on the silk screen, so the first time you bought them, it just was promotion. So was it like because it's funny about business when you find yourself in business, as most of us do sometimes, you got it out of a need. So were you trying to get shirts printed and nobody wanted to print them, or was it just too expensive to keep buying free shirts?
So the story behind that is, okay, we did get shirts printed from a company called Durap. It was two older women. They had their own 7th Spring Garden. They were lovely women. We liked working with them, but we were hustlers too. So we was like, how do you cut out having to pay for it? Like we can't get but so many shirts, especially if we're not selling them.
Right.
So how do we create our own thing, and pay less, cut the middleman out and buy our own equipment. So we hustled up whatever money we could do, and we bought a silk screen machine, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how that came about.
Now bring us to 2021. Where has that, just idea that, you didn't necessarily kind of tie into anything futuristically, but how does that now play into your life?
As far as the printing side of it,
Of course.
so once again, being entrepreneurs, trying to figure out what's a good business.
Okay.
You know what I mean? What's a good business to get into? What drives revenue? And as my cousin like to say, what keep the cash register ringing every day?
Okay.
You know what I mean? We were thinking about, before we bought our first big machine, we were actually debating, and I sat in the bed with my wife, and I was like, okay, what should we do? And we were talking about real estate or printing.
Okay.
And she always throw back at me, well, what you want to do? And what do you think? So my thing is,
Well, it sounds like you
I
have a
don't-
very supportive wife.
very, very supportive. Yeah,
Yes.
and she's a very hard worker. You know what I mean? So, but my thing is, I don't like money sitting. So I don't want to spend $16,000 and not be able to get anything recoup. Well, it's not even just recoup. It's just like it's nothing happening. Yeah, like you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
So we came to the agreement that let's print the shirts because it probably can make money every day selling shirts. And
we actually have a similar story that kind of connects to the past. Because our son and our daughter at the time were like 8, 9 years old, and they were cheerleading on the football team. He was a star athlete, and I saw all this like wear on people wearing their jerseys and shirts on the field. And I said, well, how about I just start making my own? And I started doing the bling. And so people started saying, well, where did you get that from? I said, well, I made it. And then once I started making shirts for other people, it just kind of evolved from there. So it was out of a need that I didn't want to pay that whole lot of money for just doing the same thing that we can do. So that's kind of actually how we tied in like the past and how we, currently do it now. So it has since evolved since then.
Well, I'm glad you guys were able to put two heads together to kind of, just formulate that recipe because like you said, what did we do? Oh, what do I do? So many people I find are probably stuck in that mold, and then especially depending on the character and, other things that may be going on, it's hard to kind of, say, listen, I feel like we should do this, and then take that initiative to actually do it as well.
Yeah, the initiative.
So what is it like? So I'm rewinding the tape back a little bit. I don't want to jump too fast. So what is it like when you give them out for free and all of a sudden everybody want to buy it? So what happens at that point?
Which ones? Like
when you got the free shirts at first, right? You give them out, they becoming like a hot item.
All his questions are going to be related to dollars and cents.
And he's really talking about
that's what I relate to.
because the thing about it is that printing is profitable, but printing has a moment where it can just stop and get slow. So printing is a business where you can be doing 1,000 shirts a week, and then all of a sudden, because of the season change or because of COVID, because of things you just didn't think about what happened, you can go from printing 1,000 shirts a week to printing 2. And then now you got a basement stuck with boxes.
I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know because I was a part of some of the business. Put me in the business. So what is it like when you first realize, like even you, when y'all realize y'all got something, and it's like, all right, we did a small run, and all we was expecting to do a small run, or we was giving these out for free, but oh my God, I can't keep giving these out for free. These have value. Right. So what is it like when you're like, damn, oh, I think I got something here? Well, like, what's that feeling like for you? Like,
yeah, well, the first thing that what she was talking about, like with the bling. Mm-hmm. So the bling was like the first thing that actually, before we even bought a big machine, like anything big, the bling kind of took over. Like,
and that was heat press.
And that was heat press. So like she started the bling, and
more importantly, because we can do whatever you showed us, we can do it. So we coined ourselves really early home of the custom bling, because anything that you see, if it was this domino you want on the shirt, we can bling it out exactly like you look like, and you couldn't get that anywhere else.
Right. Yeah, that's a big selling point for people. So what you were saying, having to give out shirts, we actually didn't really have to give out things. In the first. Yeah, because it kind of just trickled down, like
from her wearing it.
Yeah, or her doing little shirts for people, and then we start creating not small designs, bigger designs, so people get more for their money, and then the fact that they can get all these colors, rhinestones, mixed together and all this stuff exactly how they want it. It just kind of that exploded, and kind of like, all right, this is making money, what I mean, and how do we add to it?
So let me ask a question. So do you find yourself doing more vending, or do you find yourself doing more orders?
So that actually came over time. So we started with the printing and doing custom orders for people, and then I believe it started at a jazz festival in Willingboro, New Jersey.
No, it started at a small church.
You're right, a small church, a very small church function. And I said, I'll just bring a couple of shirts and see if they actually pick up. And what we did was we brought the heat press with us to the event.
There you go.
So that was like, okay, so you don't have to buy exactly what's on the table.
Yes,
but you can customize.
That's perfect right there.
Who idea was that?
Probably yours, because I'm always asking
it's
flip.
custom stuff.
It wasn't my, no,
Oh,
who
okay.
idea was that between y'all two? Was that the joint idea or was that
To bring the
to bring the heat press? Yeah, who idea was that?
It was.
I don't even know.
That was a joint. That was a joint idea.
I can't even remember back then, but I said
I
I
don't
think
know.
probably
I don't
between the
remember.
two of us, we said,
Yeah.
you know what? I know how it came about because we were like, well, we don't have a lot of money to spend on bringing a lot of
that's
shirts.
inventory.
Oh,
All right,
they
so-
started with inventory.
All right, so
yeah.
the reason why
Yeah.
we started doing that is exactly what she said. So I'm always thinking about not overspending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to overspend. I don't want to go to an event and
Be left with-
left with all this
30
stuff.
shirts.
So we had to figure
Absolutely.
out, so that was the thing. So we figured it out, like, okay,
Print
if
the
we,
order.
if we can print the order on the spot, then we're our negative will be less. You know what I'm saying? Like we won't be, we still can use blank shirts. If we print on them, we don't sell them. You can't get
Right,
there's
because
nothing
if
you
you
can do
print
them
them, if you
back.
print them before you get there, you have to sell those shirts at some point in
Yeah.
time. And
You
they
might
used to be
get
sitting
burnt
there.
on size. You might get burnt on so
And
much
then,
Yeah.
stuff.
If it's particular and they got a year on it or a date on it, you can't bring it back next year and
Yeah.
sell it.
And
Absolutely.
that happened to us at the Jazz Fest the first time, the Willingboro Jazz Fest. We made all these shirts and we did, so we do okay. We did okay in the beginning, even though we still,
But we were trying
but
different
we
stuff.
was
Yeah, we were
different
trying
stuff.
different stuff.
And
And
then
then
we
back to your
figured it out.
point of what do we do more? We found out that vending brought us more profits, right? Because people,
Right.
it was just flying off the shelves. People were like,
Right.
they loved our designs,
Right.
they loved the customization of it, and they just said, you know what, the shirts, they feel good, so.
I can even see it. It's like a good cotton shirt
It
as opposed
is.
to just
And
a
it's
decoration.
soft.
I can see it.
Yeah.
It's very soft.
It's funny you say that because on a smaller scale, me and my lady is in the beginning stages of the same business you guys are in, right?
Yeah.
And me and him was having a conversation about the different sublimation inks and all that kind of stuff. And for me, it started off as vending. I came up with a couple of ideas for a neighborhood I was running around there.
Okay.
And I would go down there hanging out in bars and stuff, and I would put I love North Philly or I love whatever. And I would wear these shirts with Air Maxes, whatever color sneakers I had.
Dressed up.
And then I would have about 10 in the car with me just in case somebody say I like that. Well, I got a couple in the car right now.
There you go.
Then it came from me having a whole trunk full of them and I'm knocking them all off. And it was way more money that way.
Absolutely.
But then I started getting custom orders. So now it's way more orders and I have no time to make the stuff that I want to sell. And it's more money in selling the things that I designed
Yeah.
myself. So it's,
You gotta figure it out.
you just take the work as it comes. That's how I did it. I didn't.
And but to be honest, that's one thing that we do, that we kind of fell into, is that we actually do wholesale and we actually do retail.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? As well as the vending. Now the vending is a big, in-person event. You sell more because there's more people there. They're there to buy
Right.
things like that, which helps you on the retail side. So like when you go to our website, you'll see you can get shirts printed wholesale how you wanted them. You can get custom shirt. You can buy just one shirt, or you'll see just our whole lineup of shirts or whatever you
What
can
the
buy.
prices would be
retail.
on how you buy them. Right,
Yeah, like
right.
just retail. So we cover
Yes.
actually 3 different things.
You
know what I mean?
you cut out the middleman of somebody having a let me
And
find where she got these shirts
when
from.
did you
know what I
guys?
mean? Like,
When do your wholesale price become wholesale after 10 shirts after 15 shirts? What is it? What is your?
Well, wholesale just means if you want to order your own. Like if you just buying our shirt
Individually, yeah.
individually, it is what it is. You buy one, you buy 2. We don't get involved with I want. Well, some people will say, hey, I want 10, 15 of those shirts.
Yeah, you
we
want
may
10
give
or
them like a
15.
little break or something like that, but just in general, people just go to the website
Gotcha.
and they buy, and they buy
And-
whatever.
and-
whatever quantity they
That,
want.
that was the
We
obstacle.
do have a good bout of clients that come from organizations that say, hey, I need 50 shirts, I need 1,000
Yeah.
shirts.
Right,
And
right.
then that's when you'll probably get more to the wholesale price.
Wholesale price, yeah. Because I had that was an obstacle of mine. It was kind of like people say, well, I want 40 shirts, I want 50 shirts. And they could be rest in peace shirts, or they could be
Yeah.
family reunion shirts or something like that. And it's like, well, this is how much I know it costs me to make this shirt. This is how much this and the third. So you feel like you ain't, your profit margin is not the same, but you don't want to lose the.
Pricing is the hardest thing.
You know
She
what I
always
mean?
say, "Oh, I need
Yeah.
you to get this price." It's hard because when you talk about customization and you talk about where the wholesale start. Well, we know with Silkscreen wholesale start at 24 shirts, right? That's the start of wholesale.
Right.
People think that when I buy, I'm getting wholesale 24 shirts. That's just the start. It don't mean that that's the lowest price.
Right, right. That's where
And
it
like
begins.
you said, if I come to you and say, "Hey, I want 10 shirts or 12 shirts," okay, I can give you a different price than if you buy in one. but it's still not
It's not
really
wholesale.
wholesale.
That's right,
It
that's
still
right,
goes
that's
to
right.
that mindset
Alright.
that we
Yeah.
all still think we supposed to get a deal.
Yeah.
You never try to
But
figure out
nah,
these nuggets.
but it is a-
The
but it
price
is a
the price.
difference.
When you want a polo, you're not
Yeah,
saying,
but I asked that question. I asked that question
Better
because
talk on it.
through my own experience, I do know that it's a difference
Stop being
between
a nice guy.
wholesale.
Can't
No,
be
it's a
a nice
difference
guy,
between
everybody.
wholesale when it comes to business. It's business.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You can take it or leave
Yeah.
it. So it's a difference from wholesale and retail. So my thing is, when do you decide to say, all right, I'm gonna start taking $5 off of each shirts? It gotta be profitable to me. I gotta
Exactly.
be doing
You
a whole
gotta-
lot of
it's
shirts. You know what I'm
business at the end
saying?
of
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we don't start our machines up for unless it starts at certain
Yeah,
prices
yeah,
or
yeah.
Or it's a
Okay.
waste.
Or it is.
You know what I mean?
Like I said, man, I've been in business, but I'm new to the
There's layers
printing
of
business,
business.
Yeah.
and just to hear you guys talk is letting me know that without me even having to speak to y'all, I'm in the right direction.
Of course,
Yeah.
of
You know what I
course.
mean?
We
So,
didn't
yeah.
get where we are today. It's been years. Again, probably like he started in 1997. We got married. Well, we've been together for almost 20 years. But we started the business under, official business in
Legally.
2014. Legally in 2014. Had been printing way before that.
Right.
But I said, you know what? If we're
On
gonna do
paper,
this, we're
on
gonna do that.
paper.
And he knows
Yeah.
me. We either in or we out.
See, that's
Because
what
if
she's good at.
because if I have to spend
Yeah.
my time doing anything, it better bring me some money.
Exactly.
Right.
So we started in 2014, and where we are today is way different than we were in 2014.
2014,
Even
right.
our designs, our thinking of how we go about printing is
Yeah.
very
You're a vet
different.
now, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I wouldn't even say that. There's always something to learn.
That's
But
something
you're
to learn.
right. It's just
Yeah.
like
So-
we've been there.
So because I've been in the printing business. You've been in the printing business, and you just along for somebody's ride.
Always.
But no, seriously, what is like one of some of the biggest obstacles when it comes to scaling your business? Like, so when you get stuck, because all of us have these moments, especially when you've been in business for a while. You
Yeah.
get to the point of your business where it's like, you hit that ceiling, and you're like, all right, I'm tired of making the same 10,000. I'm tired of making the same 20,000. I'm tired, you hit that ceiling, and you're like,
Can I pause you for a minute?
What's up, Chuck?
Because my question was going to kind of be an extension of his previous question, which is when we talk about business, even with the question that you raised, I feel like, and maybe I'm, sounding a little ignorant in regards to saying minorities or black people, but just yesterday we talking about business, and because my father had a business, I know a little bit, but I'm telling her, now it's time to get your car in your business name. So it's certain things with
Yeah.
business that I feel like people don't take it to the next level. If you're going to have a business, have a business.
Yeah.
When we're talking about wealth and we're talking about income and all those different things, that's how you really, take it to a heightened level when you're talking about a franchise or a corporation. You can have your own type of thing if you run it properly. And that's where you really gain, because your car note is your business. You
Yeah.
write all those things off. That's why we got to start expanding. It's one thing to talk about business on a surface level, but we got to talk about business in terms of income and wealth.
And that's
Right.
what. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say that's what we love to do so much, because we have a lot of people come to us and say, "Well, I have a small business, or I have a business, and I don't know what to do." And we love coaching people, having conversations with them, because we were like, yes, we're in our element of actually telling people what is it that they can do. Because if you think about it, a lot of people don't know, like, where do you start?
Exactly.
What does that look like? How do I open a bank account? Like, how do I manage my social media? How do I all the things that you just talked about? And that's where we really thrive, because we
Oh, really?
we
So
love.
it's meant for me to say that question.
Yes, it is, because
Well,
we love
what you're talking about.
sharing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Reef.
No, go ahead.
What
I'm
you're
going to be
talking.
spending a lot of time with you, sir. Sorry.
Look. So what you're talking about is the good thing, because this is what my thing is. Like you said, when we talk about black businesses and,
Yeah.
and just sharing information, the benefits of
Yes.
having a business
Yes.
is a reason why politicians fight for all the tax breaks
Yes.
and this and that. You know what I mean? It's because the way this country is set up is for you to have a business. If you don't have a business, you're not actually reaping the rewards of the way this whole system is set up.
Exactly.
Just like you said, we just bought a car, right? But we didn't realize that. We not thought too late, but because we use it for business, right? So when we put the car in the business name, you write the whole payment off.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Which goes towards your taxes. Everything is about bringing your tax
Exactly.
down, right?
Yes.
So these are the benefits of having a business. When you spend $50,000 on a machine, guess what? They tell you blatantly, spend this $50,000 on this machine so you can write it off on your taxes. If you make $100,000, you spend $50,000 on the machine, guess what? You're not paying tax on $100,000, you're gonna pay it on $50,000 because you just spent $50,000 on a machine for your business.
Right.
You just cut your taxes in half.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's just, you're talking about the benefits of business, which is, that's the best conversation.
And that's
you know what I mean? That we don't know
That's the
about.
conversation.
Yeah, but I think we
That's
always,
the bridge we should be
because I think
getting
we
at.
all
There's
just
something
kind
about
of
the
see
machine
like
that you were saying
the,
about far as the write-offs, but I want to actually when you
Hey, so what I was saying earlier, right? About the part about scaling.
Yeah.
You know, scaling. Like, how do you get out that ceiling? Like, have you guys been able to break through that ceiling? I mean, and I know it's more than one. So, like, you know, it's the $50,000 ceiling, and it's the $100,000 ceiling. How do you keep breaking through these ceilings? I see your guys' business is scaling pretty good. so how do you manage to keep breaking through the
we just
ceiling?
keep talking, have conversations. Like the majority of our conversations today, outside of our kids and family, is always about business, because we're always thinking about what do we have to do, what do we have to prepare for. So to take that next leap, we always have to be thinking about what is our current situation financially, even during the family, like what's going on, but also like what are those opportunities out there. Like through COVID, we had to pivot. I know that's like the famous word now, but we had to pivot off of our business model. We were doing wholesale, we were doing retail, and then we were doing vending. Vending was 60% of our business pre-COVID.
Yeah.
There was none of that.
Yeah.
Right.
So what were we going to do?
Yeah.
Right.
So we had to really focus on our marketing game, making sure people could drive to our website, you know, doing those things. So when you talk about scaling, you have to always be in the mindset, what is the next term? What is the next thing that we need to be thinking about? Because if you're not, you're just going to be in work mode every day, just turning out shirts, not thinking about what that next move is.
Yeah, and the scaling, like, you know, so what she's saying, okay, well, we're talking about scaling a business, going from a heat press machine to a silk screen machine to a heat press to heat press to the DTG machine. So it's just more about, like you said, year to year.
Embroidery machines.
No, I to embroidery.
No, he got everything.
Yeah,
that's
so
would you mess with an embroidery, because that's the
we
next
have
thing
one.
for us.
Yeah, so we have an embroidery machine. We didn't get it all at one time, right? So that's when you talk about scaling. It's like, it's, you know, what business, I was talking to him earlier about saying, like, you know, in the printing game, what I've come to find out is that it's best that you have all types of, I forgot vinyl, the vinyl cutters and all that stuff. So like, you want to be able to do any kind of printing, you know, when people come to you, right? So like, it's never just, oh, we do silk screen, or we do, people that just do one thing, you know, unless they have contracts and stuff like that, you limit yourself. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to do print on demand is like one of the best things. I mean, I showed you that company. There's one company doing 15,000 shirts a day.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, printing on demand. Like, why wouldn't you do that? You know what I mean? So like, in the print game, you just gotta be able to, I think, cover as many, you know, not all at once, but
Cover
you know,
as many angles as possible.
possible, and your scale kind of like creeps up, you know, with your clientele. Like, the next machine you buy is gonna bring this clientele. This machine is gonna bring this. Like, we just
for
recently
years asking us, do we do embroidery? We didn't do it.
And that was like as soon as we started doing vinyl, they was asking about embroidery.
The next thing.
But I was getting so excited with the printing and having fun with the printing. I went and got a sublimation print. I was telling you about 550. So I went and got that. But I had this thing in my head that I didn't want to play with house money anymore. I only wanted to let the business take care of it. So everything that I brought, I got off the back of the business. You know what I'm saying?
That's how it's supposed
so, you know, but yeah, I mean, I love it. I like it. It's fun.
But yeah,
I mean, it's hard. It's tedious.
Yeah, it's tedious, especially vinyl. Like, vinyl is definitely for like low count. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be weeding 100, 150 shirts. That's a lot of weeding. I mean, you do what you got to do. If that's what you got. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, anybody I mean, I'm not saying don't do it. But what I'm saying is that, like, and that's the whole thing about every print method. Like, you want to use vinyl like a direct-to-garment. Like, you know, you want to do it on lower counts. You direct-to-garment, unless you got more than one machine, you really don't want to do over 100 shirts, 150, because it's the process. It's a long process with direct-to-garment. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, every method has it, you know,
I did a construction company shirt, and they wanted all of this stuff.
And you had
the back of the shirt,
and you was picking
and
it.
I had to weed all of that versus, and that's when I realized, I was like, there's no way in the world if I'm gonna do this, I can only be doing vinyl, or I can only be doing. So now, my thoughts is I might even get into silkscreen because that would have been a way simpler process.
Yes.
Until it gets
Until it gets, but you know what I mean? It's all of it has its drawbacks. It all has its drawbacks.
So you've been in this for quite some time. So what is your damage like? Like what is your? Because I remember when we used to print back in the day, we didn't have no damage because we actually printed our own line. We were printing.
Yeah.
So anything that was messed up, we was just like, no, this will be something exclusive.
Yeah.
But when you print for other people and you get a damage, now that damage is no more good. So what is your damage like? Are you like 10%, 30%? Like what you like with damage, man? I saw the embroidery the other day, man.
All right, so the quick go ahead. You want to say something? All right, so so all right, the damage on the regular printing is okay. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna mess shirts up. You know what I mean? I try not to mess.
Yeah.
Like so the last direct to guard machine we had, because I brought one first, right? That one was more.
We flossing when he talked.
No. That was the first one. That was the first one. That was one that got us going. That had a lot more, cleaning, and it was liable to mess up prints more. But it print perfect and it like great designs. You know what I mean? So the new one is not as much.
It's not as good as the.
No, it's good, but it's not as much damage like messing up unless I do it. It's more user error than machine error.
I got you.
The new one, you know what I'm saying? And that one is the Epson F2100. The first one was the NeoFlex.
Okay.
The NeoFlex.
Yeah, Epson is the.
That's the new one. So and it's actually in that one you can cut off. The Epson, you can cut that one off when I'm done. I don't have to cut it back on for 2 weeks.
The other one you had to keep it.
The other one I had to keep running 24 hours a day with eat up ink, all of that. Yeah, it was crazy, but we got through it, and it taught us a lot. But now when you get to the embroidery, and we just start doing licensing, right? When you mess those up, now we're talking about you go from a T-shirt to flight jackets. You go into sweatsuits, different in the cost,
different costs of everything.
So if I mess up a flight jacket, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I gotta redo it.
And I gotta,
you know what I mean? Or I mess up, you know what I mean? Because now we're doing the whole license thing. So that'll stress you out. You know what I mean? Straight up.
I don't want to do nobody else's. I want to do a coat you brung me. You know what I mean? I would be vending with like embroidery. I don't got time to replace nobody's.
Yeah, we very seldom and probably not at all allow people to bring their own
I
material
don't like that stuff,
because our machines dictate to have certain materials, and if we can't guarantee it's going to come out right the way you look at it.
Right. But you know the stuff you buy, you know the products that you buy. Right.
Otherwise, you on the hook for whatever they
exactly.
And possibly to your machine.
So we're gonna rewind that floss. We're gonna rewind that slight floss you just gave me.
And then I got a question.
When I'm sitting with you make me feel how broke I am.
Oh, stop.
So
Come on,
listen.
Boss, let's go.
So listen though. You said licensing. We ain't gonna get into who you licensing, but what is the licensing game like? Like, would you suggest that if you're in the printing, should licensing be your by your 5th or 10-year goal? Would you suggest hey, if you're in the printing the garment is cool and everything, but you want to get into licensing at some point? Do you think licensing is a game that?
Yeah,
it's a game changer.
Yeah, it's a game changer. Yeah, we can tell. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know you licensed, and I remember you were talking. It's not like you just woke up one day and said, "I'm gonna do licensing." Yeah. It was actually a process where you was like, "Hey, this is a big investment.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." It was one of the things.
Yeah. We talked about it. We talked about it for probably
years.
But I say, you talked about it for about a year.
We talked about it for a couple of years, and you know what I'm saying, it's definitely beneficial. Like, I mean, once we actually got into it, you know what I mean, and went through the different events, you know what I mean, it was definitely profitable.
Yeah,
you know
it's just the upfront cost. Like it's very costly upfront.
Yeah.
But
you have to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
Period. Yep.
What was the process of even being able to get the license?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just whatever organization that you're trying to, to get a license for.
All you did
all you do is you find every organization has a licensing fee. You know what I mean? So you just reach out to the corporate headquarters or the office, and you say, hey, interested in printing your for your company, and being able to print and sell your product. How much is the licensing fee, blah blah blah, and they'll shoot you the information. I mean, some of them are very expensive.
Right.
I mean, it just depends. I mean,
and the process varies from company to
depends.
company. It could be for like
Yeah,
a couple of months to like 6 months to almost a year of approved time. So,
but just remember that license is most likely probably 12 months.
Right. So our license we have to renew and pay for
every 12 months.
every
Is it the same
year.
process, or once you got licensed the first time, it's just a
No, it's
renewal?
you'll just it's like a renewal, but you still have to submit designs for the ones that we have. We have to submit designs in order to do that because we want to be able to print our own, but with the within the realm of the organization.
If they say that's an acceptable.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
We need new and fresh things to come out every year.
Understood.
It's definitely worth it though. Definitely worth it.
Got you. I'm gonna pick y'all brain as long as y'all here.
So then who's a part of your design team? Do you have a design team?
Them so.
So it's just you guys. Okay.
I'm not the creative space person. I'm more the numbers,
She go get the money.
I go get the money.
I tell her where the money at, she go get it.
He calls me the closer.
She's the closer. But she's very, with the, I don't want to say with the paperwork, but like she's like with all the legal
structure of the business.
Yeah, like anything structured, legal, like she, like, that's her. Like
she got the patience for all of that.
But she knows it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm more the artsy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But me listening to the story in terms of business, I'm just kind of going back in terms of our audience. And number one, you have to have patience in anything. You have to understand that it's a process. Business is not, you're not going to reap the rewards overnight, from something that you started a day ago. It is a process. And as you have witnessed today, 2 heads sometimes are better than 1, 2, 3, possibly more. But you have to work together.
Teamwork make the dream work.
Yes.
Oh, we definitely argue.
Yeah.
No, of course.
I was asking that question next. I didn't have a lot of hate tonight. You know, how many churches you done messed up?
So now, let me ask y'all both about to be in the same studio. Three-way.
We done had some heated ones.
So, Rashida, okay, let me just, so they have a show on TV, and basically they in like couples retreat. So one of the big things that they were talking about in couples retreat was the fact that everything now is about their business. Like they have a restaurant together, they, whatever they got going on, their relationship is just all about business. The conversations is business, we can't take 5 minutes because we got business, So has that been a friction? Sir? With the formation, especially with everything going on in your life?
Yeah, especially if I felt like the project was really important and we had a certain time limit, and she might be like, well, look, I got something to know. This is, business comes first. But it was a learning process. Once we realized we got a load that we got to maintain, that takes precedence over everything.
Yeah.
It's business. But it was a growing thing. It was new. It's still new.
Yeah.
We ain't been doing it as long as them. I got 1,000 more questions. This is not an interview, but I got 1,000 more questions. So like, and one of my main questions is because I spent a good amount of money on one of my machines, and I was going back and forth with the process of financing it, and I learned that it's not really a finance, it's a lease. Would you say it would be better to lease these machines versus paying for them and for the business? You know what I mean? Is it better for the business to lease these machines? Because I know the write-off come from leasing the machines.
Well, no.
Because now how I heard it was once you own that machine, the tax write-off wouldn't be as big because that is an asset to the company versus you paying out for it every month. So what would you say would be the difference with that?
The first thing I would say is you with a credit union?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the first loan we got our machine was through our credit union.
Okay.
And when you get the loan, they pay for whatever. We pay the credit union monthly, but we able to write the whole purchase off.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when you lease it through one of those companies, you're saying, I know what you're saying,
right?
What I'm talking about. Yeah. So you right. I mean, it's beneficial both ways, but for us to get the whole thing off, to bring our, the down is very important for us. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So you got to look at the numbers and see, you know what I'm saying, how it may work, best for you.
Depending
Yeah,
on
I'm
where,
thinking
depending on where
right
But
you're
you're
at
going
in
to
your
pay.
business.
You're definitely going to pay.
Yes.
So you can look at it like this:
I'm
you're going to pay more leasing, right? It's going to help you do your establish your business credit, but there's
Right.
other things you can do to do that.
Right.
So do you want to pay more in your payment and leasing it, or do you want to go to your credit union and get it? I mean, that's the decision you got to make, because if you can get it in your business name and you're okay with it,
Right.
then you're
And that's why it was kind of hard for me to decide, and I went and bought the machine. You understand what I'm saying? But it
Did you write it off?
nah, I didn't have to. I didn't get to that point.
You- oh, okay.
Early
You just
stage
got it.
again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that we've learned is that, and I tell him all the time, is that life is really good. That it doesn't matter what decision you make, you can always go back and try to figure it out. So whether you choose one way or the other,
Yeah.
just look at it and say, did this work for us? If
Right,
not,
right.
on our next
'Cause you got
time,
more machines.
Next machine. This is more
the next time we'll do it. We'll do it.
Yeah, more machines to buy,
So I would just
yeah,
say,
right.
the
But-
fact that you're even doing it, you're
It's-
already there.
You had your
Right.
head start. But definitely credit unions and credit unions also give out lower interest rates than
Yes.
regular banks.
Yes.
So,
And right now, cash out on that low APR period.
yeah. Straight up.
I'm saying. Now is the time. If you want to make some money, now is the time. Period. Stop sitting around. There's too many jobs out here.
See, that's what I was talking about in the last episode. We was talking about all the things we supposed to do and what we ain't doing. Man, this is a bad couple that's actually doing it, man.
Yes.
And you gotta give them, they props right now. It's the living proof. We doing stuff.
Do
right?
anything you want to do. You can be anything you want to be.
Yeah.
So currently, you're full-time with the company, right?
Yes.
And you're a part-time systems manager.
Yeah,
Right,
appreciate
right,
it.
right,
Part-time, yeah.
Part-time. No.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I understand. I've been on both.
Yeah, for
Both
sure.
sides of the
Yeah, for
fence.
sure. Yeah.
So when you going full-time with the company, how nerve-wracking is it when it's like you got to hit certain numbers?
Well, that's-
because it's
yeah.
a lifestyle at this point of you at your mature age that you're
Yeah.
like, I want to maintain my lifestyle,
Yeah.
but I don't want to be stuck on that rat race of a job every day. I want to maintain my lifestyle, and please explain it, because a lot of people now, they watch Instagram and be like, oh, I can't have no job. I gotta work for myself, get money. and there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I mean, it's a lot to it being an entrepreneur.
It's hot girl
And,
summer.
and a lot of people don't. And a lot of people don't
It is.
understand how much work, thinking,
Yeah.
prayer,
It takes
self-talking to yourself,
crying, no sleep.
all those things. I mean, at this point, would you say it was it as easy as you thought it would be, or was it as hard as you thought it would be?
Well, I'll say this. It's very hard, period, right? Just being an entrepreneur.
But rewarding.
But rewarding. The one thing that I've found out, about being full-time is like a job.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's a
you gotta work
job.
the same way. You
Yeah.
gotta
So
work the same way.
the number one thing
It's work
of
ethic.
me trying to get into a business was not to have a job, right? So
now you got
now the number one thing is how do I not have a job? You know what I'm saying? How do I build this business to the
Work
point?
for yourself.
Right.
What you say to scale it, where we are now, is how do I build it so we can hire people, to print, hire people to market, hire people to do sales. That's where we are as a company
Can I ask you a
at this
question?
particular moment.
Now, have you thought about or even have done it already, internships with possible high schools?
Yeah, that's where we are now, looking at all these opportunities of how we can scale it. And that's one of the things we said, local colleges, they'll come in right out of college or either in college
Yeah.
where they can help us out, or even possibly paying people, right? So
Or
we-
even internships. You figure if that's their trade, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people have to get a certain amount of credits, you know what I mean, to fulfill that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So-
Yep, we are there. That's exactly where
Yeah,
we are.
that's exactly where when you talk about scaling is it's putting it to the point where the business is running itself,
Exactly.
because there's other things that we want to do
Besides
this, but we want to build this. I mean, I actually want to build this business to not only be print and wholesale, but I also want to build it to become a supplier, in the
Like the Home Depot
in the game. Like, you know what I'm saying?
How many black suppliers have you ever ran into?
None.
Exactly.
Wow.
None. So we're actually going to go to China. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I'm
To
going with
try.
you.
Yeah. That's
too.
right. Yeah, because we want to get the manufacturer.
We want to go to
You want the plug?
Yeah, we don't need no middleman.
Yeah, we
At
don't
this
forget
point,
the middleman. Exactly. So like, you know, that's what we want to build that business to. But there's other things that we want to do. So we'll always have a goal and a direction and goals for that. You know what I mean? But once we can get it self-sustained, you know, then we can get back out and, you know, shake and bake. You know what I mean? 'Cause that's what I'm good at. You know, I ain't good at all this other stuff. I need to be making moves, baby.
So listen, right? I mean, because you use a lot of terminology that's making me feel uncomfortable here. What is your reason for always wanting to cut out the middleman and the plug? Where did you get that knowledge?
You told me that. You know what it is. You know, it's just from where we, you know, that's where we come from, right? That's where we come from. We come from, you know, our family is hard workers. You know what I mean? So we come from, we do the work ourselves. You know what I mean? And you know, as you grow up and you know making, you know, your little moves, you found out, hey, I can make more money if I go buy the water ice, you know, and scoop it myself and sell it for 50 cents. You know, versus me trying to, you know,
I got to go buy it.
I can buy Kool-Aid in the cup and sell icy.
We did do that at your house. We did do that.
You know what I mean? Kool-Aid costs what, 20 cents a pack? How many cups can you get out of one joint? Exactly. There you go. There you go. It's all about, you know.
Another statement you made earlier too. You were saying you had it when you first did it. You were at a point of, you know, he was like, am I gonna go real estate? I'm gonna go print.
Yes.
And it's funny you said it because I actually left printing to go to real estate.
Wow.
Yeah, I left.
See, the man.
Not at all. But no, it's funny that, you know, it's these courses we take in life. Because now, I mean, right now I was with you about a month ago, and you're looking for a building, a commercial building at this point, to put the company in. And it's not like you ain't playing around with kids. Like you know, like you're dead serious. Like you have to make this a staff with employees, and you got to go the whole nine. So now that you're going in that direction, are you happy with the decision that you made? Now that because you went with the printing or the real estate. And it's never a bad decision or a wrong decision in life.
I'm definitely happy. Because I think it's a space, you know, like we were talking earlier about, you know, blacks in the printing game. Like, you know, every you know convention we go to or whatever, you know, I don't see enough, you know, of us
participate.
That's actually providing, you know, the equipment. You know, the materials, the whatever, like, you know, we're always the consumer. You know what I mean? We're always buying, but we're not actually the ones that's providing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a space for us. You know what I mean? In that game, and I'm happy because, you know, like I said, I like the fact that you can, you know, generate income every day. Yeah. Every day, and there's nothing wrong with that because I think, you know, you have to be diversified. I think real estate definitely plays a part in our future.
At this point, you're going back to, you know, you're going to the real estate house.
But it's no limit on the amount of income you can generate with a printing company. Now, I don't want to say just a printing company, but, you know, all the things that we talked about.
Yeah, from the licensing.
From all of those things.
There's so many things that you can do that can
make
it.
Yes.
No, I love it, man. I love being around rich people, man. Rich in knowledge, if you want to.
There you go, rich in knowledge.
It's funny, man, because we are related.
Yeah.
We come from very humble beginnings. That, you know.
Yes, sir.
On episode 13, I made a comment here and I said like how my pop was like the big dog in our family at that point. After going to a funeral this week in the repast, you know, it just ain't one big dog in this family no more. Like, you know, it's a lot of big dogs here now.
That's right.
Like, it's a lot of, like, when my niece pulled up in the parking lot and seen all the cars in the parking lot, she was like, damn, who family is this? Because my niece, our family don't grow up the way we grew up. We all not at grandma's house for the holidays, so everybody don't know each other.
Yeah.
So when my niece pulled in the parking lot, she was like, damn, like who family is this? Like, no, that's your family. And she see all the tags and there's people from all around the country. And she's like, well, I don't know none of these people. I'm like, long story. It's a long story. So like, you know, it's amazing that like to see us come from those humble beginnings, and now like you a big dog, I'm a medium dog.
Yeah, well,
you know, so you know, but no, honestly, man, like it's amazing to see where we came from. Even when our aunt got on the stage and said, like, you know, the humble beginnings they came from, and how we had great uncles who knew the road to wealth but never shared the knowledge. And now, you know, my dad used to give us the knowledge when we were young, and he used to always tell us like, y'all gonna do more than what we did.
That's why we do what we do now, because of his father.
And so to actually see it now coming to fruition is like, it's amazing. Like, there are really big dogs now. Like, you know what I mean? It's really
people doing things. That's right. Yeah, people doing things. That's
so it's a pleasure and honor to be able to interview you and your wife today.
It's a pleasure.
But it's no interviews. No interviews.
I'm sorry. It's a pleasure to have a conversation.
Just conversation.
It's a pleasure and honor to have a conversation with these two today. It really is. Like,
True pleasure.
But we truly appreciate it. You know, we truly appreciate y'all having us.
What's up?
So earlier you said that you want to go to other places to get materials.
Mm-hmm.
So does it? So like usually when people talk about like Japan and whatnot, they always say the denim of Japan is the best. But then they say like I guess the leather of let's say France.
Yeah.
Would you have to like to cut the middleman out to get the best product? Would you have to go to those different countries? Or would you just be like, okay, if I just go here, there's a strong chance they got all of it?
Well, yeah, you have to. Yeah, I think you have to definitely do the research. But they do have a fair over there. I think it's called the Canton Fair or something like that. It's in Shanghai or something like that, or somewhere, right? And you can start there. You know what I mean? Because they have all the different manufacturers that sell everything from toys to garden tools, whatever they selling in the United States, you know, they're selling at these places, right? So you just gotta start somewhere. Ain't nowhere in the world I won't be able to go there and just know off the bat who to go to. Exactly. I mean, like in August we're going to Magic, so we're gonna start there.
First guy told me about Magic. It's a beautiful place to go.
Yeah, we had actually. I'll tell you a quick story about Magic. So when we had a clothing line called Morocco Clothing. Yeah, we had that.
Let me tell you.
So about the tags and materials.
So Magic Show is a place in Las Vegas. They have it twice a year, February and August. All the big time designers, not the Gucci and Louis and that stuff, but we talking about every designer you can imagine. From a low scale to, and you'll be surprised
around the world.
Around the world,
It's
called the Magic Show. You'll be surprised how you think like all these different companies is really owned by like one company will own like 10 different companies. And when you go out there, you'll be surprised. Like you may laugh at Union Bay, but Union Bay will probably have the biggest booth out there. Yeah. So when you laugh at these companies, when you see them in the J.C. Penney's or the Walmarts, wherever, you be laughing thinking like nobody wear this. No. Middle America is not Philadelphia. And you will see that, you know, sometimes we get money confused because we think, oh, if such and such ain't wearing it, it ain't the thing. Yeah. Man, this thing is about moving units. And some of these small companies that we laugh at, they are moving, like you said, 15,000, you know what I mean? Those small companies, well, they're not small companies, they're actually big companies, and they own about 40% of the clothing lines that you see. So you'll be surprised, even these big urban brands, sometimes they got to go to them to get their stuff made and get their stuff done. So you'll be surprised, like, so the Magic Show is in August and February. It's in Las Vegas. Yeah. If you have a company, it's free. It's free to
register.
It's free to register.
You can go out there either if you have a clothing line, you're looking to get picked up from a store, or you're like a printing company like us. We're looking for different materials to print on for different various things. So it's multiple reasons why.
Manufacturers.
So it's the same people you can like if you wanted to put a clothing line together, you got people who you can get your clothes from. Is this the same place you can get your tags and
get everything?
You can actually buy machines out there for people who
build your line there.
Yeah, because they have manufacturers.
But it's not cheap.
It's more. It's more for clothing. Magic Show is more for clothing. The tag thing is probably like a different type of convention because they have all different types. Like they got equipment, you know, printing, ink, all the different types of.
We got tags one time, and it was either at the Philadelphia. It was either at the Philadelphia Convention or it was at the Magic Show. Because I've only been to 2 clothing trade shows.
They usually have them there.
Yeah,
no, I'm saying it's different names. I don't know which one.
Yeah, but and then some like Magic's so big, so like over this side they'll have the tag manufacturer. Like so you see he had a booth when he was there. I didn't have a booth. I was just walking around as a guy.
So I'll tell you about that quick story real quick. So this is good, right? So I forgot. It might have been 2003.
Yeah, I went in 4, so you.
2003. So we had a booth. We had Morocco Clothing, and we had a booth out Magic, and we were there. I think it was like it was like 5 days or something like that. So you go, you set up. This is when all the rappers had clothing lines. So you had that Fat Farm,
Rockaway.
So everybody was there. Russell Simmons,
every star.
Everybody
they walking around with no security.
Everybody just walking around. Def Jam. Not Def Jam. Fat Farm had like a 2-story building inside the convention center. Like, because what happens is, like I said, the big stores, they come and they say, okay, yeah, we want 20,000 of those, we want 10 of
you actually get $1 million orders.
Yeah, that's what you go there for if you have a clothing line. Like, you're trying to go there and get to get the order. And I think the smallest booth was like $5,000. So, it's not. It was 10,000. Okay, I might be wrong.
I mean, you remember maybe 5,000 for the spot, but then you still got to pay for the electrician.
Yeah,
come
right.
plug up the cord.
Okay, so it might have been 10,000
to put up the.
So we went out there, we just hustling, we grinding, and like the third day we there, since we were local, the owner of Foreman Mills walked up to our booth, and he was just so interested in our clothes. You know what I mean? So, we got his number. We said, hey, look, his name is Rick Foreman. And I'll call you when we get back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We got back, called him, actually became good friends with him. We was talking for a while and stuff like that. He sat down. He wanted to do with us, and this goes back to what you were saying, moving units. And my partner he more wanted to do a high-end clothing line, but Rick Foreman was like, all right, I want to do Morocco, but I want to, I want to make it lower. I want to, so people
the cost of the people.
Yeah. And I'll never forget this, and that's why now we have the affordable. Like, everything is, to me, like it says, it's more people that buy clothing that's on the lower end, meaning not buying high end clothing. He told me I started selling T-shirts at a flea market, and that year that I met him, he grossed $100 million. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Foreman Mills. I bet you probably never thought. You know what I'm saying?
Because more people is going there more frequently as opposed to you buying a designer
so we
shirt
always
think.
See, we always think that you're gonna make more money, selling, stuff for 100. Listen, if you can sell stuff, it ain't slow. It's like you said, the majority, right? Because 1% is rich, right? So what's the other 99% of Americans?
That's right.
Yeah. They're buying their kids, their clothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they're buying. That's the white.
That actually kind of set the precedence of
I'll never forget that.
Of how we print. Our tagline is always apparel, fashion made affordable, or always apparel, printing made affordable. Yeah. Because we want to make sure that everyday people can buy our clothes or come to us for printing. We don't want to knock you over the head because we know you'll come back.
Right.
Because of our quality and our customer service.
And that's what happens to these new, I feel, designers. You know what I mean? And it's nothing wrong with it. Feeling okay, if you spending Gucci money here and there, why can't you spend it on my product? Mm-hmm. But the flip side to that coin is, if you appease to everybody or more of the majority than the minority, you're going to always have money in your account. That's right. I just think why they don't get that dynamic.
Well, what it is they don't know what they know. Two, we talking about certain individuals with prestige names behind them, so this clothing line is attached to their name, and they don't want to have Foreman Mills attached to their name because the clothing line is more about them as an individual than it is making the money. So it's not a business mindset behind it; it's a popularity.
Thing.
You understand what I'm saying?
And it's a difference. It's a difference between being famous and being rich.
Exactly.
Just because you famous
don't mean you
got money. Period. You could just be a celebrity.
Yes.
And
with nothing.
With nothing. So,
that's a whole nother conversation.
We said that on the packed episodes. You remember we said, would you rather look bad and be doing good, or,
That's right.
So it's the same thing. It's the same mentality.
That's right.
I'm one of them people that I don't want to have to choose. I want to have enough money to do what the fuck I want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want.
I want to look bad. I want to do
it. Coming from the guy with the button up and slacks on the day. You know what I'm saying? So
only for TV.
Yeah.
See me the other days. You want to hand me $1.
Yeah. Now, but we all got our bad days. But I just really, I want to get to a point, where that don't even matter. It's whatever I want to do.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Whatever I
that's
want
what
to
you
do.
work for.
I think-
You know what I'm saying?
I was telling him,
Unapologetically too. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I was telling him, you know, and I don't know if this is just because I'm now faced with doing, you know, a lot of decision making on my own. But, you know, it's coming down to me getting a car, right? So my niece was like, oh, what's your dream car? And she asked me that a few times, and I'm like, it's a car I already got. You know, and it's like now that I'm looking for a car, somebody told me that they're like, that's a step down. And I'm like, I don't even give a crap. I don't care no more. I don't care what I get. As long as I can get where I gotta go, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's just levels in terms of, like you said, at one point in stage, the goal is let me get this or let me do this. But after you did it all and you go everywhere, you know,
Then
it's
what?
like,
Right,
exactly.
right.
You know what I mean?
You know what my dream car is?
What's your dream car?
Being able to get in whatever I feel like that
I know that's
day. You know what I'm saying? And not even really talking about owning all of these
Yeah.
cars. I mean,
But
just
you
having
into
an
cars,
option
so yes.
and be able to do it. You know what I mean? I think like a lot of times when we talking about wealth, when we talking about priorities now, and I think, you know, priority is, you know, you have to take care of yourself too. You gotta be happy. You can't even take care of the people that's coming behind you if you stress and you ain't got no release and you ain't got no, you know, you gotta live for now. So I'm one of them people who I don't want to make the decision to say, well, everything I do is going to be, you know, for people that's coming behind me. I mean, that's my drive, right?
Right.
And that's what we
Can't
want to
kill yourself,
do.
yeah.
But I don't want to say that just because I'm prioritizing, I don't want to live too. I ain't even 40 yet. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So some people get this thing in their head where if you had a good time or you went out there and did that, man, that sound crazy. You're not wrong for having a vacation. You're not wrong for wanting to wear a nice shirt. You're not
only
wrong
live
for wearing.
one
No,
time.
do what you're supposed to do. As long as you prioritizing, I think enjoy life.
I think you should do what
Enjoy
you
life.
need to
But
do.
I don't think it's wrong because you might. I don't know what y'all got outside. Y'all might got Bentley outside. I don't think that's wrong.
Yeah.
They don't got a Bentley, but it's close.
No. I'm just. You know what I'm saying?
I want you to have those things.
But listen to the thing. But here's the thing. Here's the funny part though.
Nah, I'm
But you
joking.
got some people who would say, "Oh, you ain't got a Bentley before you did this," but you ain't know the other thing.
You don't
I just
know
said.
the stuff,
right.
Yeah, like how could you say that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of them people, right? I might go get me a nice shirt or a nice car, whatever. And they say, yo, how you spending money on that? But they got a $1,500 phone, only paid $300 for mine. So it's what you like.
Right.
It's
And
what you
let me
like.
ask you something that I heard you say, at least I thought. When you talk about like setting your kids up, right? Because I struggle with that. So, you know, it's one thing we all want the wealth and we want generational wealth, right? I think. But when you don't work for it, your appreciation and your value is totally
Talking about the
different.
kids.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. So how do you like handle that? Because I bought my son a car. He was driving that car. I still can't even get it together in my own brain. How could you get a whole car? I couldn't even figure out how I was
You know
paying
what?
this for this car. But he had a car going through Easy Pass like he had the sticker. Just doing whatever.
I think the most important thing. I mean, of course, we all like to leave our kids $100 million. I mean, I know I would love to leave my children $100 million.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is investing in who they are and who they gonna be, and giving them that same drive you have to go get it. So if something ever happened to you and you ain't get a chance to leave them that $100 million, do they have the wherewithal to go get that $100 million on their own?
So let me just say this. I don't think that this is my opinion. My husband may have a totally different opinion, but I don't think you have to struggle to be deserving of anything, right?
Yeah, I don't
feel like
agree with
most,
that.
if you see how America was built and most non-black people, they have inheritance. They were given things. I think if we can set our family up to do the same thing, I don't believe we have to always start at the bottom to be appreciative of stuff. Now, what I will say is we, in our household, like again, our kids, they see us day in and day out, grinding, no sleep, don't eat, all this. I hope they pick that up.
That's what I'm
more
saying.
than anything else.
Because you can leave them $1 million, but they don't have that thing.
Right.
What
So
they
if
gonna
we
do
give
with
them
it?
this company or we give them this
That's what-
thing,
I feel like when you
then
give, they don't have all the other stuff. Like now, in every household and every child is going to be different. You know what I mean? But even with the house, you set them up with the house, right? Now, unless you're buying multiple houses, if you have multiple kids, how's that going to work? Then I feel like it'd be a thing with the siblings. You know, when you do have houses passed on. I mean, it's always something. And then a lot of times, those assets may not necessarily be an asset if it has so much debt attached
Attached
or
to it,
other
right,
things.
You can lift,
You know,
listen,
so
a
it's
friend of
like-
mine's got left a
yeah.
house, right? And it was supposed to be an asset. It was a fucking liability.
That's
He
what I'm
wound up
saying.
owing $10,000.
That's what I'm saying.
Thanks on, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey,
So you have to be very careful with all of those things, because even with something like that, that right there can ruin the relationship with the uncle or the brother or whoever else because of, you know what I mean? It's just hard with setting people up.
I understand all that y'all saying, but unfortunately, somebody was late today, and it kind of messed us up our time. So we are in a great conversation, but we do have to wrap this up.
Oh.
Yeah. But the flip side of that coin is, I understand you two, you one, y'all like to party, but me and my man, we come from humble beginnings, and our paranoia, our paranoia makes us feel a certain type of way.
I think he was almost agreeing with me.
Not niggas. He probably
No, first of all, I'm not saying I disagree or don't agree with you. What I'm saying is that we and him have a paranoia. It's a certain paranoia that you have sometimes when you're growing up, when it's like, yo, that right there, I don't want it. So you may not be nowhere near there, but yes, you are going to enjoy yourself. But some people may enjoy themselves on the 70th percentile. Some people enjoy themselves 50th percentile. Some people enjoy themselves 30th percentile. Wherever you fall in, add it at.
No. But what we were talking about was when people cast judgment and say what they wouldn't do, but you don't know what percentile that person is at, and you say you ain't worth that brother can have 100 million. You don't know it because everybody knows. Because there you go. Everybody don't share what they doing and what they have. And some people don't share moves. Like me, I'm like personally, I'm one of the people. I'll kind of talk to you about what I did after I done it, because I feel like I'm a person, when I speak about it, I speak it out of an existence. Some people speak things into existence. Me, I just got to do it. I can't talk about it. I'll tell you after I've done it. Like not being sneaky, but that's what works for me. So I'm one of the people, I can't sit here on the show and say, hey, I'm about to do something, I'm about to do that. Chances are, if I said it from a braggadocious point, it might not even work out. So I'm in silent, not because I'm being sneaky or I want to bust out on it again. No, I like to move. You know what I mean?
Hey, definitely. So with that all being said, we do got to wrap at this point.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate y'all for coming out. Thank God y'all manager found that y'all coming in. I'm sorry we didn't have a rider for you or nothing, but next time we try to get you a limo or something.
Some water at least.
At least some cold water. But thank y'all very
We all in
much.
this together.
With that being said, I'd like to thank you for tuning in today to Just Conversations, No Interviews. Remember to like,
subscribe,
and share.
Thank you.
in
Have a
that
good one.
order.
Always.